tonic herbalist extraordinaire, and he's going to guide us into an introduction on Taoist tonic herbs and tonic herbalism. And we've got an extraordinary array of goodies here to research and talk about. And I think you're going to find the knowledge that Rehmannia, Dean Thomas here, has to be extraordinary and very helpful in your journey to have the best health ever. How you doing, Rehmannia?
Excellent, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So
thank you.
much.
Right on.
We've had a blast out here at the Eden Retreat over the weekends. It's been so wonderful. And thank you so much for inviting me. I know that David is a specialist on herbs too, so we've had a lot to talk about. We've had some good conversations. I'm a Taoist tonic herbalist. I was apprenticed to the master herbalist Ron Teagarden for 8 years. I was his tea master. And he taught me the precepts of the oldest system of plant-based therapy that is that we have today. And the wonderful thing about it is that it's intact. This system has been in operation consistently since 2975 BC was when the first pharmacopoeia of medicine was written in China.
That is a long, that's 5,000 years.
Yeah, 5,000 years. This has been an actual system. The reason we haven't heard about it yet is because it was kept for the elite somewhat. But the wonderful thing about it, that we have the opportunity to have it now in our lives, is that the elite actually propagated and promoted its development because they wanted to benefit from the longevity that these herbs enhance, adaptability, potency, and all of that. And fortunately, too, the ruling elite of ancient China had a lot of emphasis that they were interested in gaining wisdom. You know, these people, the whole idea of the wise old sage is a big part of Chinese culture.
Absolutely.
So fortunately, too, a big input on the development of this was about the attainment of spiritual centeredness and wisdom, as well as a physical body. That's really one of the things for me that makes it so attractive.
One of the things that you're really onto, and I think it's a very important point to talk about, is the treasures of Chinese medicine and what the Taoist tonic herbs. They enrich these treasures. Maybe you could talk a little bit about the three treasures and what that means. And this is hinting at what you're talking about with the depth of longevity and wisdom that they provide.
It is. It's a mind-bogglingly wonderful philosophy of observing health. The Chinese long ago, beginning with that pharmacopoeia in 2975 BC, they set some principles down about the way that we view health. And so eventually this became a philosophy, this basic philosophy of this system is called the three treasures. The first treasure is essentially it's our inherited health, it's our DNA. The modern study of genetics and epigenetics sort of kind of like takes in somewhat, and we call this Jing. This is the first treasure, Jing. This is housed in our, we know that Jing is in our mitochondria and our DNA, in the mitochondria of each cell, but really the Chinese believe the kidneys are sort of the gold vault somehow of that message, of that. And so if your kidneys are kept healthy, you maintain vitality, youthfulness, creativity all through your life. And this is an inherited thing. It could be inherited from generations. So it's a sort of a deep, I look at it like it's a savings account, like an IRA, or it's a gold vault, in your kidneys. And there are ways that we preserve that. Herbs like Rehmannia, for instance, my namesake herb, a wonderful kidney yin tonic for sort of taking in energy and storing vitality for future use in the kidneys.
Now this is a root that you mentioned was steamed in wine to soften it and give it a little bit more pliability.
It makes it tonic to the kidneys by doing that. Probably makes some of the minerals more available. Like there's a lot of zinc in this. And of course zinc is very important for all of the reproductive fluids, which are a part of the whole kidney system. All of the reproductive, the endocrine system essentially is part of that. Another big herb for Jing, for kidneys, is Ho Shou Wu. Now, a lot of us have heard of Ho Shou Wu. These are what are called black herbs. So, black foods tend to have a lot of molybdenum, a lot of zinc, and they're thought to tonify the kidney. Ho Shou Wu means old black-haired Mr. Ho. That's the name of the herb. The story goes that there was this old man named Mr. Ho, and he'd become sort of feeble, and before he had lost his hair, and he was humped over with a cane, and he had no children, and he was determined to have a child. And so he was searching and searching for a way to regain his youth so he could attract a woman to have a child. And one day the story goes, and they say this is a true story, it happened around 800 AD apparently. The old man, Mr. Ho, laid down beside the road and fell asleep. And he woke up, and there was a plant shining, sort of glimmering, and he thought, oh, there's something there in that. So he took the plant to his shaman herbalist and said, can you do something to help me with this plant? It's talking to me. So the herbalist found a way to simmer this root of this herb in black bean stew, again with black pigmentation and all, and it made it tonic to the kidney. And the legend is he grew this big Elvis thatch of black hair. And stood up straight and threw away his cane and fathered 17 children.
That's
and they
amazing.
say it's a true story. I'm sure embellished a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
The thing is, this is a very powerful herb for rejuvenating. And that's the thing that we want to understand is that when Jing is something that needs to be preserved, and it's leaked. The Chinese have a term that Jing can be leaked. Stress is a big Jing leak. Childbirth with women is a big
Jing leak.
Or giving a great deal of that essence to another life. Overwork, accidents, illness, excessive semen release by men is a big gene leak.
Yeah.
One of the great secrets of male vitality is semen retention. But that's all. We're all talking about Jing there.
That's all Jing stuff. What other Jing herbs do we have here?
Well, prepared Rehmannia and Ho Shou Wu are yin Jing herbs. Yin, the fathers and mothers of this system developed the basic philosophy. Beyond the three treasures was the concept of yin and yang. Now, the original meaning of yin and yang is yin means the accumulation and storage of energy into the organism, and yang means the use of energy.
Okay. Interesting.
And you were quite correct in your assessment that yin is the yin and yang symbol probably could be slightly more yin and a little bit less yang.
Yeah, because yin is first. Yeah.
Because the accumulation and storage of energy, and then how we use that is really important. So there are herbs that help us maintain yang Jing. Those herbs that give us vitality for like endurance type stuff, structural strength, and that kind of thing. And so there are different classes of Jing herbs. So that's the first treasure, Jing.
Okay. Now the next treasure,
Qi.
Qi. Okay, so we've all heard, like in the West, we hear about from Bruce Lee days and martial arts. We hear about Qi and fire. What is that? Where does that? What does that really mean? Because I don't think we get the real story.
Good question. It's true. Qi has come to mean a lot of things. I mean, Qi is ATP. Qi is biophotons. From the cytoplasm of the cell. Radiating, right? Is what you were talking about yesterday, which was fabulous. But really, what we look at as Qi within the context of the three treasures, represent Qi represents your daily energy needs.
Okay.
Through the consumption of food and the combustion of that into energy, so that your body has Qi. Your body keeps upright. Your blood is moving through the system, and metabolism and catabolism is occurring. That's Qi. Okay. So the Krebs cycle is somewhat the same as Qi.
It's Qi. Okay.
Wonderful Qi herbs. Cotinopsis. I like Cotinopsis as a Qi herb.
Is it here?
Here's Cotinopsis.
Oh, there it is.
This is they call this herb ginseng for women sometimes, and they also call it poor man's ginseng. It's somewhat like ginseng, only more mild. Ginseng is a great herb, but it's a complex herb. There are many types of ginseng. This one is a mildly warming spleen Qi. Qi is the organ system that is responsible for the cooking down of the food that we eat, the breaking down and the absorption of the minerals and the nutrients. The organ responsible for that is the spleen, according to Chinese medicine. Okay. And in reality, it's probably the spleen and pancreas a little bit together.
Yeah.
And so what we want to do is we want to tonify the spleen. Now, with raw foodists, it's and a lot of vegetarians, it's really important to make sure that the spleen is nice and warm and dry. You want the cooker turned up in there. You want to get that cellulose of the raw materials that's going in and break through that and get the nutrients out. And so spleen chi herbs are really a really wonderful, vital component in a raw foodist herbal arsenal.
Okay, let's just go back to that right now, because that's a really important point. One of the things that we have discussed before, which I think is crucial, is when you have a raw food diet, this is kind of like the bulk of your calories and that kind of a thing, and it's a great thing. And when there's imbalances in the system, then we can go to Taoist tonic herbalism to rebalance our system. Isn't that or to maintain the balance? And this is where we're fusing these two worlds together, and it's really an opportunity that we all have now, is like to take the best of the best.
Absolutely.
We don't have to be stuck on any one thing. We don't have to cook lettuce anymore. We can really eat our lettuce, but we can also take in herbs like Codonopsis, which is a great chi herb and is helping our spleen get that fire and that dryness needed to digest all that cellulose.
Exactly.
What other herbs are in that category that would be good for
my
the
favorite
spleen?
herb, I think this is an essential herb to talk about for us who are eating a lot of raw plant foods. White Atractylodes.
Okay.
I love this herb. Just a wonderful herb here. White Atractylodes is the number one herb in all of the Chinese materia medica for tonifying the spleen. Now, here's what happens. Sometimes dampness can occur, water edema and bloating, particularly in women. Men, it gets a little more like phlegmy sometimes. This shows up as a kind of a pale coating, maybe a bloated tongue with some teeth marks on the side. But women tend to hold moisture in here sometimes. And then in that case, you get that classic Chinese term, damp spleen, which the Chinese doctor always mentions. Well, this herb goes in, and what it does, though, is that it's famous for what we call warming the middle jowl, warm the area here and help to remove some of the damp, activate the spleen, but not hitting the nervous system with like alkaloids like coffee or stimulants, you know. That's not the way we want to go, because we don't want to burn out our adrenals trying to get our spleen working. Because then we're hitting Jing. If we're hitting our adrenals, we're going into the kidneys. So we don't want to do that. We want to support Jing by Jing is like the wax of the candle, but Qi is the fire that's burning. We want that fire nice and hot, you know, and a good flame. That's Qi.
It seems like the American generations that we're a part of have a lot of Qi, right? They have a lot of like fire, but not really good Jing that holds the container together. It's kind of like a classical like rock star problem. You know, like
exactly
all the fire and all of that, but then when it comes right down to like the container that can hold it, it burns out. But we're seeing even now with this generation that's coming in, more Qi problems, right? Like probably there's just not enough fuel in the food to bring the Qi on.
Yeah, a foodless food, no Qi. It's like your system isn't running at full speed. One of the main functions of the spleen and Qi is to derive new blood, to get the kind of wrestle the iron ion out of the food, which is a process, and get the new iron ion into the old red blood cells, reactivating old red blood cells and making iron bioavailable in the body. That's a process that takes some real combustion and energy.
So that's related to Qi. So blood and Qi in the Chinese tonic herbal system are connected to each other.
They are.
Interesting. Okay.
And so, yeah, we want to extract the minerals and the iron through a good process, and then by doing that, we're supporting Jing. So yes, you're seeing the devitalized foods that people are eating in our mainstream society. They don't have the fuel, and they're lacking iron and minerals too. It's like the right kind of iron is bioavailable, so then they don't have enough fuel running the system. So if you don't have enough Qi keeping your system up, you start sort of dipping into your Jing. You don't have an ATM account going for your daily energy needs. You start dipping into your gold vault. And at a certain point, that's where we start to see signs of aging in a person when they're really going into their Jing. So a lot of American people were seeing kind of, you know, really, I would say rapid signs of aging in some regards.
Okay.
You know, just prematurely gray hair. Kind of starting to shrink. You know, getting kind of slow, fuzzy in the head. You know.
So Qi's the fire, just to review, and then. So related to blood and blood purity, and then Jing is kind of that gold vault bank account that's kind of holding all that DNA energy and all that historical genetic energy from our lineage, right?
It's the genetic future of the human genome.
Awesome. Now, what else
and,
is there?